This is all about just making a little bit of progress every single day and giving yourself grace through just the ups and downs of life. Hi, friend. Welcome to Gather and Growth, a show created for passionate, growth-focused rural women like you. From mindset work and building strong habits to exploring the unique joys and challenges of living rural, this is a show to leave you feeling joyful, inspired, and a little less alone. Together, we're on a journey of reaching for the most confident, healthy, and authentic version of ourselves, and I'm forever grateful to have you by my side. Whether you're currently running on a back road, shuffling kids to town, hopping along for a tractor ride, or 3 loads deep into folding laundry, grab yourself a nice coffee and let's dive in. Hello, friends. Oh, are we in for a treat today? Today, I get to tell you about something that has really both fostered and nurtured the community that we've built together online, and truthfully was the catalyst that got the ball rolling on me even jumping into the work that I'm doing now in the first place. Back in 2019, I started my health journey, which I've shared about in a few different episodes. And the thing that made the biggest difference for me was understanding habits and the role that they play in taking control of our physical, mental, and emotional health. And so I walked through this whole journey of, understanding habits and building them really intentionally. I took part in another habit challenge in that fall of 2019. Those habits are what carried me through 2020, and we all know what happened that year. And I'm so grateful that I had the framework that I did during that crazy time. The end of 2020, I walked what I thought was just going to be a few friends and family through that original habit challenge. It grew to a Facebook group of several hundred. And once that wrapped up at the end of the year, we found ourselves in January being like, oh my gosh, this has been so amazing. We want to continue this community. We've been growing and learning and changing so much together. Like, let's just keep moving forward. But the habit challenge we had been doing had very specific habits, all of which are wonderful. But at that point had just been part of my life. And I was kind of over talking about them all the time or intentionally working on them myself. And I recognized that so many women in that group were in very different stages of their life. And so I wanted to create something that would fully encompass or be inclusive to everyone, regardless of where they were, what they were doing, what they were working towards, what their life circumstance looked like. And so I created something for us. And this is the story of what that is, how it began, and how you can get started. YouDoYou82 is a personalized habit challenge where you choose 6 habits that are relevant to your personal goals and lifestyle to implement for 82 days. Our community is filled with women who motivate, encourage, support, and inspire each other in reaching towards the very best version of themselves. We strive for progress over perfection and help one another thrive through all of the ups and downs of life. We are intentional about building healthy daily habits that over time help us live intentional and authentic lives that we love. In YouDoYou82, participants, that would be you, choose a set of 6 habits that are relevant to their personal goals and lifestyle. Hence, you do you. So for 82 days, we commit to those habits that are challenging yet attainable, specific, and actionable. Absolutely anyone can start YouDoYou82 on any given day. And yes, this challenge is absolutely free. One question I get pretty often is, why YouDoYou? Why 82? And here's the thing. YouDoYou is something that I had said for a while in the group exercise classes I was teaching. I should add, I did not set out to be a group exercise instructor in my life. That is something that happened out of necessity during the pandemic. The YMCA I was working for needed instructors to teach virtual classes for all of our members who were home. My job had been turned upside down, so it was something I could just do to be part of something we needed. And then when we transitioned to in-person, I just continued. And I actually really loved it. It really pushed me outside my comfort zone, but it was something I could take a lot of ownership of. It kept me accountable to my health. And it was a great experience, even though it was something I never, ever thought I would do. Anyway, in those classes, I would demo the moves we were going to do for our workout. And so I'd be like, okay, here's the squat. And if that doesn't feel right, you could do it this way. Or if you want to make it more challenging, you could add, this to level it up, or here's a modification. Or if you don't want to do that, like jog in place, you do you. Like it is your workout. You make it what you need to be. The great part is that you showed up and you're moving your body. And so ultimately, one of my just core values in this is that you have to choose what works best for your life and your body. And it fluctuates during different seasons. And that's 100% okay. Like we just have to get comfortable with that process. And so in prioritizing you, that's where YouDoYou82, or where YouDoYou comes from. The 82 comes from the fact that when we are intentionally working on habits, it's around that 3-month mark that we don't have to try as hard. They kind of just become part of our routine, part of who we are. Like a whole transformed identity takes place around that 3-month mark. That's why there's other habit challenges that are 75 days or 90 days. And truthfully, when I was kind of weighing our options for what this original group was going to step into, I wanted something that was a hybrid between other things that I had seen, and 82 was like halfway between 75 and 90. So it was just meant to be. Like, I remember sitting in my office at the Y having like a light bulb moment. Like, YouDoYou 82 days. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. So YouDoYou 82. That's where it came from. Absolutely anyone can start anytime. Like I said, this program is inclusive to all schedule types. You don't have to wait for a certain day. There isn't, it's not like you start on the first of the month or Monday or whatever. Like you can just hear this episode and start today or tomorrow. A whole group of us are about to kick off, in preparation for that harvest season. I've recognized for me, it's helpful if I really lead this program well a couple times a year versus just continuously trying to do it all the time. So if you are listening to this episode in real time in September, I encourage you to hop in with us because I think there is a lot of power when a group of people do something intentionally together. But honestly, it could be February when you listen to this episode and you can start tomorrow. Anyone can start anytime. I did the math, and this year I've made more in my business than I did my old 9-to-5 paycheck. And while that number isn't bajillions, it has me deep in the feels. I am not a business guru or a marketing expert. I can't teach you how to be a girl boss, and I still don't fully understand the legal or financial jargon that comes with entrepreneurship. But I'm freaking audacious, and I built this. 1 year ago, I was greeted with blank stares when I told people I was leaving a job that I loved for the total unknown. But I knew there was a calling on my heart that I had to step into, and I had the insane courage to try. I'm a regular old girl from Illinois who just believed that my dreams were possible, and yours are too. My Ascend retreat is for you, a rural gal who knows that she's called to something. If you are craving community, growth, clarity, confidence, and a game plan to fully step into all that's possible, this weekend was built for you. I invite you to join me in sunny Destin, Florida this November 10th through 13th for a fully immersive mastermind retreat weekend. Not only will you learn from and have full access to some of the best coaches and inspiring women in our industry, but you'll truly walk through the journey with fellow like-minded rural doers and dreamers who are creating big impact for their families, careers, and community. Our weekend will bring clarity to your vision, and you'll leave feeling more connected than ever to your purpose with a solid action plan to bring your dreams to life. Though we're all on our individual journeys, we are so much stronger doing life and business together. I'm not here to tell you what your dream life looks like, but my coaches and I are sure here to help you bring it to life. Are you ready? Check out emilyrushell.com/retreats for more information. Shoot me a DM and I'll send you the link to sign up today. Spots are filling fast, but there is still one with your name on it. I talk a lot about, this podcast being for women, and my community online is largely comprised of women. I'm very passionate about helping women through their journeys, but anyone can participate in this challenge, any age, any gender, any career, any background, anything else. that you could put yourself in a box about. Like this transcends all of that. My husband has done YouDoYou82 rounds with me multiple times. I've had so many families do this with their kids and help their kids build different habits, even as simple as like brushing their teeth or picking up the toy room or whatnot. Again, because you choose your own goals, it's a win-win. Anyone can take part in this. And of course, there are a lot of programs and courses and challenges out in the world that help you like get to the life you want. Here's what makes YouDoYou82 different. First of all, it's personalized. You determine your goals. You determine what your results look like. It is 100% progress focus. It's all about you choosing attainable goals that allowed you to make progress one day at a time. We are not asking you to be perfect. In fact, we encourage you not to be. A lot of times we jump into things like this and we think it has to be all or nothing. A new diet plan. And we're like, then one day I use this in air quotes because I actually hate this phrase, but fall off the wagon. And then the next day we're like, well, yesterday was trash, so I'm just going to do whatever today. And then that spirals. And then all of a sudden we've like lost everything we worked to build. No, this challenge is all about intentionally recommitting to yourself every minute of every day and learning to genuinely give ourselves grace and compassion when we make choices that aren't according to our plan, for lack of a better word, because that's where the growth happens. If we try to go all or nothing, that's only sustainable for so long. In fact, there are people who participate in other programs that are geared towards perfection. And the minute they are off that plan, they go 20 steps back to their old habits or even worse habits because they had so much pressure to be perfect. This is not that. This is all about just making a little bit of progress every single day and giving yourself grace through just the ups and downs of life. This program is not one size fits all, and you know it. We all have a different journey. Your habit tracker, the habits that you commit to, will be entirely different from anyone around you, and that is truly the beauty of it. This is relevant to whatever season of life you're in. Part of growing is allowing yourself to acknowledge that where you're at may be different than where you've been or where you want to be. I know even now, like there have been times in my life I've been really committed to like my half marathon training. My nutrition has been on point to support that, yada, yada, yada. And right now I'm in a season where my fitness looks very different, and that's okay. This is not meant to compare to yourself to where you've ever been, or like I said, where you want to be. This is a challenge that meets you where you're at right now and supports building those intentional, healthy habits in whatever phase of life that you're in. And the other thing that I really, really love about this is it asks you to be very honest with yourself. Like, what do you actually need? This isn't me telling you, these are the 5 habits that are going to change your life. Although I have recorded a podcast episode about the 5 habits in the morning that have really changed my life. So I guess that's kind of a contradiction. But, I can offer my support, what's worked for me. You can be impacted by other people or inspired by the things that they say have helped them. But this is not a copy and paste. Oh, this is what she's doing, so this is what I'm doing. Or this is what she did to get those results, so I'm going to do that too. Our bodies are all different. Our lives are different. This is an opportunity, which is a challenge for a lot of people, to turn inward and ask, what do I actually want? What makes sense for me? What are the habits that would support me where I'm at today? So when it comes to choosing your 6 habits, this is something where a lot of people get tripped up because it's a lot, quote unquote, easier to just be doing what someone else tells you to do. So when you are choosing the 6 habits for YouDoYou82, I want you to keep a few things in mind. They need to be challenging yet attainable. What does that even mean? Okay. If you are already like a complete rock star, like have totally mastered everything that's on your list, then it's not really helping you grow. It's not helping you level up. You've already done it. So you're just like filling in the boxes for no reason. At the same time, if you put things on this tracker that are crazy unrealistic, then you're setting yourself up to, again, fall off the wagon and not stick with it more than a few days. So it needs to be something that pushes you slightly outside your comfort zone because we know that's where we grow. But at the same time, like if you have not run a mile in 3 years, you probably shouldn't run, like say you're going to run 3 miles every day. That's not realistic. If you are used to pushing your snooze button 20 times and you say you're magically going to get up at 5 a.m. at the first alarm, like probably not meeting yourself where you're at. Okay. It needs to be challenging, but also actually attainable because that's what stacks those wins. Furthermore, it also needs to be small and crazy simple. Like I said, it should push you outside your comfort zone, but also be within the realm of what you can realistically incorporate into your lifestyle. We're so good at overcommitting to projects because they sound good, and it kind of sets us up for quote unquote failure. Also don't love that word, but it sets us up to like not be successful at it. And if you fill out your tracker and 2 weeks in, you're like, this is way too easy, you can always change them to level up. In the same breath, if you're a few weeks into this challenge and you recognize, oh my gosh, this is way too hard, I am like overly stressed about this and I'm not even sure it's doing me any favors, you can always take it a couple notches back. With that being said, they also need to be specific and actionable. No gray area. You need to know exactly whether or not you have done it at the end of each day to fill in the tracker. If you can't decide whether or not you've completed the task, then it's entirely too vague. So like, what do you even want to accomplish? If it's eating healthier, then pick out a specific task to complete, whether it's incorporating a vegetable for dinner every night or completely eliminating candy or whatever it is. Be specific. If you're like, one of my goals or one of my habits is to eat healthier. Like, what does that even mean? Does that mean you're eating a salad? Does that mean you are tracking your macros? Does that mean you are not eating a bag of Doritos every day? Like, be super specific. So at the end of the day, you can be like, yes, I did this. No, I did not do this. Like, eat healthier is not specific. How do you even quantify that? Because you can also then give yourself a million excuses or justifications. Well, I was kind of healthier today than I have been before. Like, no. Did you do it or did you not? Did you eat the vegetable or did you not? Did you have enough protein? Did you meet your protein goal or did you not? Did you drink the water or did you not? Like, it needs to be a absolute yes or no. If you are listening to this episode, it is because you are ready to start YouDoYou82. Remember, this is a totally free challenge that anyone can start anytime. I'm personally about to jump into a round to help me thrive this harvest season. You're going to head to YouDoYou82.com, pop in your email, and I will send you a link to our new Journey Through YouDoYou82 workbook. It's going to answer all of your questions about how to get started, choose your habits, stay accountable, and other resources to help you thrive through this challenge. Again, YouDoYou82.com. I cannot wait to do this together. Let's go. I also have created a little cheat sheet to give you some ideas, but it's not the end all be all. Remember, this challenge is for you. I want you to imagine the most fulfilled and healthy version of yourself 3 months from now. What does she do every day? What does her morning look like? How does she take care of herself? Let that guide you in deciding what you're going to focus on for the next 3 months. They don't have to be crazy. Look at where you're at now and where you'd like to be, and then work your way backwards. Keep it small and simple. So often women will be like, oh my gosh, I'm almost embarrassed to show you my tracker. Like, they're so, the habits are just so easy. Like, I should be doing this. No, stop that. Nothing is too small or simple. Even if you used to be a rock star at it 2 years ago, meet yourself where you're at today. If getting up at a certain time is something you need to commit to, it doesn't matter how simple it seems. If that's something you know you need to bring into your life for the first time or bring back into your life, then that's where you're at. Nothing is too small or simple to be intentional about. In fact, that actually sets us up for more success than taking on these like 6 things that are crazy, new, big things we've never done before. Like, that small and simple wins. That's how we stack up to where we hope to be. So on the website, on YouDoYou82.com, in the new workbook, you can find this cheat sheet that has just some ideas. These are literally things I've collected that other women in the community have committed to over the last couple of years. These aren't even all things I came up with on my own. I have just like taken inventory of trackers and things from our Facebook group and comments. And I've just compiled it all in one place so you can get a little bit of inspiration, because otherwise you're looking at this blank thing. You're like, I don't know. If you see what a few other people have done, it kind of gets that ball rolling. And even more so, shameless plug, if you go back to the last 2 episodes ago in the podcast to how to take action on your dreams, going through that process can also help you clarify where you're going and what steps you need to get there. And the habit tracker, YouDoYou82, can really support what those action items are and put them in a very trackable way. So if you haven't listened to that episode and you really don't know what your goals are or where you're going or what your dreams are, I highly recommend you go back and check that out before doing this. With that being said, I've mentioned a few times that we have Habit Tracker, and we actually have a couple of different tracking systems. We have a totally updated version of the wheel tracker that I originally created, both one that's blank, so you can write in dates. So let's say you're starting on September 17th. You can write in 17, 18, 19, 20, so on and so forth. We also have one that is by day. So the number's already in there, 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 82. And so that's something that you can manually print and then fill in. We also just created a weekly tracker that you can fully customize in Canva and then print out and use by the week. Some people find that modality to be super effective and really helpful. We have a couple of different trackers for social media, both a weekly tracker and a daily tracker. If you're the kind of person who likes that social accountability, being able to post in the Facebook group, post to your Instagram stories, and be able to bring your friends and family and online community along that journey with you, which is very effective for accountability, might I add. We've also had a lot of members of our community have success with habit tracking apps. There's one in particular that's called Habit that a lot of people love. There's a bajillion of them. Someday, putting this in the universe, someday I'll have my own app, but that day is not today, and I'm okay with that because I have a lot of other projects that I'm working on. So again, there's a lot of different ways you can keep track of this depending on your personal preference and lifestyle, whether it's digitally, an app, on social media, or something you print out. I tend to print mine out and then keep it tucked in my journal. So every morning when I open my journal, I fill out my habit tracker for the day before, and then I do my journal. Some people print that out and put it on their refrigerator or on their bathroom mirror or wherever. You just want to make sure that whatever you're doing, it works for you. Again, goes back to the you do you. What works for me isn't the best for you. You can fully customize it to what makes sense for your brain. And speaking of accountability, I think that that is key. Doing this in community is a game changer, in my opinion. And there's a lot of science behind that. If you haven't read James Clear, Atomic Habits, 1,000,000% recommend, especially if you're about to jump into a habit challenge. But he talks about, building and breaking habits alongside like-minded people who are doing similar things. So that's where our Facebook community has come from. A lot of people have had success with using like calendar reminders or notifications on their phone for habits, or doing it with an accountability buddy, even finding someone in the Facebook community that you want to personally check in with, whether on like Messenger on social media or exchanging numbers. Like having someone else is accountable to similar things can be super helpful. And again, I think even just sharing online, a lot of people just want to see your journey. I know we kind of think like, oh, who cares? Or nobody cares about this, or I'm being annoying, but people genuinely want to see you win, and people love a good transformation story. So, if you're starting like, hey guys, I just have been feeling XYZ and I'd like to intentionally work on these things, I'd love to bring you along the journey. And then every day you update them on how you're doing that. Like, people love that. And then you can bring the people you love alongside of it with you and further your impact on how people are intentionally taking care of themselves. I've had families do this together, which again is super cool. Actually, my kids are old enough. I might have them jump in around with me now. I haven't done it yet just because they were pretty little. They love scribbling on the habit trackers and pretending they're filling it in like I fill mine in. But I think especially my oldest, he's 5.5. I think he might This actually might be a really good tool for us. I think I might do that. Check in with me on how that's going. It also might not be. He might be a little young, but we'll see. And at the end of the day, I think it's also really important that you know why you're doing this. And you need to be really clear on what that life change is going to look like for you. Again, this is both about building new habits and could even be breaking old habits. If you are doing things that you know is detrimental to your mental health or your physical health, and you just haven't had the opportunity or reason to kick it to the curb, I highly encourage you to do this alongside of us. Again, this is about progress over perfection. This is about taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional health with a group of people who genuinely wants to see you be successful at that wants to help you win, that wants you to feel that change in yourself. You are so enough and so worthy exactly as you are today. I never, ever want to make you feel otherwise. I never want to discredit that. But I know that I personally feel my best when I am intentional about taking care of my health. And you know what? I've actually had a lot of people do YouDoYou82 and take it totally different directions, even outside of, let's say, their physical or mental and emotional health, and have used YouDoYou82 to be really intentional about their business and build some habits in the workplace that they have known that they want to do, but have struggled to figure out what accountability looks like for. I've had people take YouDoYou82 and be very intentional about in the way they take care of their house or the way they nurture their relationships. You know, one of their habits is like check in with a family member every day, or, you know, call someone, or spend 15 minutes alone with each of my children, or, you know, do something that shows my spouse I love them every day. And that's what I love about this challenge. I love it so much. I hope you can hear how passionate I am about this, because what I have learned is that when people, women specifically, because that's, like I said, what the bulk of my community is made up of, when women learn to truly invest in their needs, their physical health, their emotional health, their mental health, and we retrain our brains that we are truly a priority and the things that are important to us matter, that opens the door for us to step into so many other things in our lives and to just feel good. That's what we want. We all want to wake up in the morning and feel excited and feel good about what's going on. And gosh, who hates at the end of the day or even first thing in the morning to be filled with dread or to be sluggish or to feel like we're just not ourselves? I hope that this challenge just genuinely enhances who you are and helps you be authentically you and just be intentional about taking care of yourself, because it matters. It matters so much. And I will scream to the rooftops. This will be, you know, the hill I stand on forever, is that the best thing you can do is invest in yourself in whatever way that looks like. And if this is a tool that can get you from where you're at to where you're going, then I think it's just the greatest thing ever. And there's a million things out there. I'm not trying to pull a fast one on you and telling you this is the only way, but there's so much I love about it, mostly because it helps you get really clear on what you want and what matters most in your life and taking care of you. It's not to please anyone else. It's not to keep up or keep pace with what anyone else is doing. It's teaching us to get clear on what we want and to give ourselves grace every step of the way. Gosh, it was just a life-changing for me to learn that I could make a mistake, or I could stumble and I could pick myself up again. Not in January, not on Monday, not on the next month, but like later that day or the very next day. That's what garners long-term results. It's not perfection. It's not doing something crazy that someone else has told us we have to do. It is intentionally making the choice to stand back up and try again. I think that's the gold nugget. That's the mic drop here. I would sure absolutely love for you to walk alongside this journey with me. Like I said, a whole bunch of us are kicking off just in time for harvest, because I don't know about you, but I live on a farm and harvest is crazy for our family. And I think in our craziest seasons, whether or not you're in agriculture, when we are just slammed with work and life in general, that's when our good habits fall the most. And when we resort to the things that feel easy or make us feel good. And then a week of that, 3 weeks of that, 3 months of that, and we feel like garbage. And so I really want to challenge us in this busy season to be extra intentional about doing the things that make us feel awesome, because that's genuinely what helps us thrive through the hard times. And I want to see us come out of harvest stronger than ever, or at least not so depleted that we are just drained and zapped for weeks upon months. I would love to see us walk through this, even when chaos is being thrown away. In fact, the first time I did a habit challenge, it was October, November, December, which we were well into harvest at that point. But I remember at one point being like, am I crazy for doing this during the season? Mind you, I had like a 7-month-old at the time, but it's what really made me feel like I was taking control and being stronger and more intentional. So would love for you to join this with me. Again, totally free challenge. And if you know other people in your life who you think would benefit from this, or you want to see do it with you, please send them to YouDoYou82.com, send them this episode, send them my way, invite them to our Facebook group. I would love to walk alongside this journey with you and with them. So with that being said, I will see you next time. Have a great day. Have I told you today how much I appreciate you? I'd like to imagine this was a meaningful backyard patio kind of chat between friends sipping LaCroix at sunset. If you enjoyed today's show, please take a screenshot to share or forward this episode to a friend. You can also find me at Emily Rushell over on social to continue the conversation. It's truly a joy to hear what tidbits and takeaways made an impact on your day. As always, all links and resources mentioned in today's episode can be found in the show notes listed below or over at emilyrushell.com. Special thanks to my podcast manager, Jill Carr, for the time and love she puts into producing Gather and Growth for this community. What a blessing it is to be on this personal growth journey together. Forever grateful for you.